The 1950 United States Census documents state that in the year 1900, the average farmer performed chores by hand. He plowed with a walking plow, forked hay, milked by hand, and went to town once a week on horseback so that he could get the things that he couldn't produce on the farm. My grandfather was born in the year 1900 in a small farming town named Richfield, Utah. He was raised in a family where everybody had to work hard so they could provide for the needs of their family, largely due to the death of his father when he was 6 years old. He later on had to continue working hard to survive the Great Depression, and we'll also see that he worked hard until the end of his life. Like I said, he was in a family where everybody had to work hard. His father died when he was 6 years old as he was driving a milk wagon hauled by horses. He reached down to pick something up when they hit a bump. He fell off and was run over by the milk wagon, which crushed his body, and he passed away. Because of this, from the age of 6 years old to the age of 10 years old, my grandfather rarely went to school and was always called home just to work on the farm. By the age of 10, he dropped out of school completely so that he could put all of his attention into working on the farm and provide for his family. On top of that, his mother passed away 8 years later when he was 18 years old. So as we see, he had to work hard in the beginning stages of his life. His adult circumstances also caused him to work hard. When he was older, he met his fiancée during the Great Depression. They decided to get married, but he didn't have much money. So he worked and saved up for 4 years until he could finally have the means to get married. When they started their family, they slowly began to have children. And by the time that their sixth child came about, they finally had the means to build their own house, which was suitable for all of them. The next challenge in his life came when this house completely burnt down to the ground. He had home insurance, but it turns out that his insurance agent was an alcoholic and hadn't been paying his payments forward to the insurance company. They were left homeless, but with the farm still to take care of, and no insurance money to help them out. My grandfather was quoted saying, "I built that house once, and I'll just build it again." His optimistic attitude and his experience of working hard his whole life made him confident to know that he'd be able to take care of his family, even in these circumstances. Later in life, he eventually did build that house again. His family was financially stable, and he had built a good life for himself. However, his unhealthy menu that they had on the farm, and also his hard work out in the sun, caused him to have a heart attack in the year 1970 while he was working the farm. The Journal of the American Medical Association states that even today's modern society, with technology advanced, 19% of heart attack survivors aged 65 and older are going to die after the first 30 days after their heart attack. So he was lucky to survive that heart attack of his. However, after he recovered, he went back to work on the farm the next year and had another heart attack in 1971. His family became quite concerned about his health and asked him to quit working on the farm. But he was quoted then to say that if I can't be a farmer, then I might as well be dead. He ended up going to work the third year in a row and having a third heart attack in a row. The third heart attack in 1972 was less easy for him to recover from. He eventually passed away from that heart attack. Even though we can see that he had a stubborn attitude and didn't stop working like his family asked him to, I'm very proud, and his family was proud of him, because he was always willing to work and do whatever it took to provide and take care of his family. Although the day and age has changed, there are many people like him today who work hard for their families. So as we recap, I just want to remember that my grandfather was forced to work from a young age. He worked hard to survive the Great Depression, and he worked hard even until the end of his life. I live in a different time of the world, but I am grateful for the attributes that I've gained from my grandfather, and I know that I can go through the hard challenges that will come to me, just like the ones that he had.